Oh, hello there. I didn't see you come in. I promise I was only scratching myself. I just wanted to take this moment to introduce you to the new Kooks, CRANKS, and Iconoclasts. This is our new format, our new team, and I also want to add that this is the usable material out of roughly 4 hours filled with various technical malfunctions. It takes a lot of work and a learning curve to make a podcast, especially when you're incorporating more people and new technologies and all kinds of snazzy schnit for that ass, which we'll have in spades, including lots of stuff to make you chuckle deep down in your tummy. So stay tuned, because this is merely just a sample, a taste, if you will, a promo, to use the professional term. So we hope you enjoy it. We're covering the Hellfire Club and Sir Francis Dashwood, and in celebration of that, we convened our own little Hellfire Club, and yes, alcohol was a factor. So please enjoy the brand new Kooks, CRANKS, and Iconoclasts. Thank you.
I don't do it enough to suffer from the consequences of abusing it. I mean, I haven't done it in like 4 or 5 years. Until the other. It was fucking great, dude.
We're recording that.
Yeah, hey, we're recording.
You don't need to know what
Kooks, CRANKS, and Iconoclasts.
Hey, everybody, this is the Kooks, CRANKS, and Iconoclasts podcast. I'm your host, Mike. I'm joined by my 2 new fucking awesome co-hosts. I'm glad they're here. This is going to be badass. I can't wait. I'm going to introduce you guys. You need to tell a little about yourself. First up, Mr. Spencer Lowry.
My name's Spencer Lowry. First time caller, long time listener. Big fan of the podcast, friend of the podcast.
True.
Yeah. He's swinging his dick this side of the fucking Mississippi.
Spencer
39 Gemini.
That's all the pertinent information. And next, my oldest friend, Chris Wells.
Yeah.
Not oldest, like, years since, but I've known him forever.
Yeah, well, it's like.
But he is old as fuck too.
I'm getting there. I got the grays coming in. Yeah, no, I'm just a guy. I make observations and
he's just a man.
I can talk about them. Maybe I can't. I don't know.
That's what we're here for.
We'll see.
So today we've got an extra special salacious edition episode. Our main subject today is going to be primarily, I guess I would say, the Hellfire Club or clubs, but also we're going to talk about Sir Francis Dashwood. He's probably the most popularly known person associated with that. But before we jump into the, I guess you'd say, meat and potatoes of our show, we're going to do What's Weird This Week.
Yeah, I got something here. On SkyNews.com, pigeon suspected of being a Chinese spy released by police in India after being detained for 8 months.
I saw that.
I never trusted a fucking pigeon in my life.
Now, what happened is some fool in India found a pigeon with some little bands around one of its legs, and he's like, "Hey, maybe this is a carrier pigeon or something."
Right.
And they saw some Asian-looking lettering on it.
Oh no!
So they automatically, thought this is some kind of like, they got balloons. They might as well have pigeons too,
Yeah, and, one of the most technologically advanced superpowers in the
so
world.
they had to, I don't know the whole story, but they had to hold this damn bird for 8 months before they figured out there was no monitoring devices, no sonic directional microchips and Neuralink shit implanted in its head.
Probably put him in the...
8 months is a little long to keep a bird in the
You think they fed him
tank.
good?
Long enough to live 8 months out of it.
All right, I saw that article, and they blurred his eyes out.
The pigeon's eyes?
They gave him discretion. So he couldn't be
What
like...
the fuck?
Yeah, fucking... I don't
Yeah.
They didn't want
I
anyone
don't
to
know.
know that they put him in the
So-
Indian equivalent of Guantanamo Bay.
After 8 months of poking and prodding, they let this poor bird go. And when I read this, it made me think of the the MK Ultra project called Acoustic Kitty.
Yeah.
Where they had a sonically guided, they put some kind of fucking chip in a cat's head or something so they could tell it which direction to go, and it had a listening device built into it.
The cat had a listening device.
Yeah, to go spy on the Ruskies,
Yeah. Hey,
and
let's use an animal that listens to directions really well.
Well, as far as I know, the goddamn cat got run over.
But who doesn't love a kitty? Like, if a kitty walks in, even old Vladimir...
Oh, Kitty, I want to tell you all my political secrets.
Exactly. Like, he's love the kitty.
And this was the 60s, so it had, like, vacuum tubes and shit coming out of its ass. It's like, it clearly looked more like a Borg than a fucking cat at this point.
Somebody might have took it to the vet. Who knows?
Anyway, the bird's been released. It turns out it was a Taiwanese research project to track birds' flight patterns.
It wasn't one of Mike Tyson's?
It was not one of Mike Tyson's. But maybe he would adopt it.
He loves the pigeons.
Yeah. Ludicrous.
He might adopt it. That's a good thing. We should write to his people about that.
That would be a good thing.
But anyways, the bird's flying free. They released it back to the goddamn Taiwanese government or whatever. Anywho.
Maybe India should adopt the pigeon as their national bird, like we use the eagle. That's almost extinct.
What is the national bird of India? We'll table that for later.
We'll come back to it.
Come back to it.
That's what's weird.
Me, I have a thing with black goo, but I'm not. I gotta trace it down.
African American goo, please.
But let's
not get mired in identity politics.
It's a whole thing that seems it's a conspiracy, which Chris's Conspiracy Corner should be coming up soon. Not this episode, but I'm just giving you a rough hint. It's some of the bullshit that I come across and I go into, but I just really haven't gotten to go far enough into it. But it really seems like a straight ripoff of the black goo from X-Files. Like, that was like one of the main themes.
I heard about this in connection with like Venom movies too, and they're trying to like connect it to symbiote shit.
Well, like some of the weird people I follow have actually given it. It's a graphene something. Who
has this black goo?
Who does it? Who does it? Who doesn't?
My clone.
I'm not sure, but from what I got, it's something that's supposed to kind of take over our brains, just like on the X-Files. I don't know.
There's like a fungus component or something.
There is a fungus component. It's a lot
when you sent me that link, and I was looking at a bunch of stuff about like, it was like, what I found was something that was basically like Elmer's glue mixed with like iron particles or something, so they could make a malleable...
Like ferrofluid.
Like yeah. But then I saw the fungus stuff, and I was like, now we're hitting...
Or cordyceps, man.
Yeah. We're hitting weird brain drug territory,
it's
maybe.
like that show on that network.
Yeah.
The Last of Us.
That one. But it is very much X-Files, and I will be doing some digging, and hopefully by the next our next congregation here, I will be able to give a sermon upon that.
Hallelujah.
Congregation conflagration.
Yep. Pass the collections.
So, speaking of congregation, my weird this week is about notorious Catholic piece of shit, Ed Warren. I don't know if a lot of people out there are familiar with Ed and Lorraine Warren. You probably are, because the Conjuring films apparently have outsold the Godzilla franchise as the most, like, money-makingest fucking horror movie ever. But apparently, not only are the Warrens notorious frauds, which I don't want to waste time going down the whole list, but Ed Warren is also a potential pedo. Sorry, folks.
Ooh.
God put him here for a reason.
To break some cherished truths or illusions, at least.
Who broke this story?
This is from Thought Catalog. Hold on, let me get the...
Never heard of her.
Chrissy Stockton. Me either. But,
Could they have picked a dumber looking actor to play that guy in those movies?
Yeah, he looks nothing like him.
I don't know.
So, yes, it turns out that Ed Warren, not a demonologist associated with the Catholic Church, by the way, he was a bus driver by profession. I don't think a lot of people knew that. But he picked up a 15-year-old schoolgirl named Judith Penny, and when she was 15, Ed Warren began grooming her while he was a bus driver delivering her to school. She ended up being moved into their house and lived with them for decades. She also commented that she'd seen Ed abuse his wife, Lorraine. She probably should have seen that coming with the psychic powers, but I guess it didn't work. He called the love of his life. Lorraine knew about all this.
You turned that bus
weird.
right around.
Yeah. So, hey, there's another one of your cherished pop cultural heroes down the drain.
What was their whole thing?
Fuck
Didn't they use this to sell some kind of shit at the end? Or was it... I don't...
Pedophilia?
No.
That pedophilia doesn't need any help being solved.
He is a Catholic.
No. I mean, their whole, like, haunting bullshit, what was their whole, like... Because they really had an ulterior motive. I just don't...
Oh, yeah, it was to promote religious horseshit.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Like, at the end of the first Conjuring movie, like, those movies are entertaining.
When are we starting a church?
We're doing it now.
Is it? Oh,
This is
good.
the first step. No, yeah, at the end
Pass
of the first...
collections.
Yeah, please. Don't take watching it. No, yeah, at the end of the first Conjuring movie, there's like a little subtitle at the end, like from Ed Warren. It's like, demons are real. You're all fucked unless you come to Jesus. So,
Yeah, doesn't he do like exorcisms over Skype now or something like that? Seems like I heard
from
something.
the realm of the dead?
Why haven't I
Already died?
Why
Oh,
haven't I
he's been
gotten
dead a
into that?
Because they're certified frauds. So it's basically, like, I just think that it's weird that they're like cherished cultural heroes to a degree and they're obvious frauds. But
Conjuring 1's the only one worth watching, and it sucks.
Yeah, I didn't like them that much. It was, not a big...
God put us here for a reason.
The supernatural. I want something viable.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's go look into it. Thought catalog. I mentioned the author's name, so I don't remember it. Go back and look at it or hear it, and if you want to check it out yourself, verify. So yeah, that's what's weird this week. Now, getting into the main subject of our show, this is going to be, how to put it? I don't know. We're kind of dealing with something that does touch on things that are going on in today's world, but I don't want to totally spoil the surprise, so we'll just sort of get into it. I will say, as we mentioned before, the main subject of the show is the Hellfire Club, or clubs, because there's been more than one, but specifically Francis Dashwood.
And this is not the one that the nerds on Stranger Things made.
No, not that one.
This
or the
is
one from the X-Men comic.
Or nerd.
It's weird when I was doing research, that kept popping. The Stranger Things was popping up.
That's the main one. That's the So we have to clarify. This has nothing to fucking do with that.
Yeah. We should just change the name of the city to Seinfeld.
To all the people under our age.
Zennials, listen up.
No, I think we're the Zennials.
We're the Zennials?
We're after X. We're in between X and Millennial. Yeah.
What a twist ending.
Yeah.
We've been Zennials the whole time.
We're a Zennial, the whole fucking thing. Yeah.
So, yeah. I kind of like...
Zoomers. That's the one you were
Those are the bad ones.
Those are the bad ones, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we're by the fucking seat of our pants on this one. So, yeah, I got into sort of the precursors of this whole idea of Hellfire Clubs, and they sort of, like I said, they percolate through the atmosphere of time into today. And there are precursors to this that are philosophical. There's one bit of information I found in here that's really interesting, actually, that I kind of knew about, but never really thought about. This goes all the way back to like an occult law of inversion, which you'll hear a lot of satanic conspiracy theorists talk about. And this is going to be chock full of shit like that, I'm sure, at some point. But occult law of inversion is like using anything of evil imagery, taking on the character of a demon or a devil. So there's a whole lot of that. But this traces back to stuff like Saturnalia, Greco-Roman festivals and orgies and shit like that.
Old school LARPing.
It goes into all the things on all the conspiracies that I currently absorb from the ether. And when I say the ether, I mean the fucking internet.
This rag I have in my hand.
This fucking thing. But, I personally do subscribe to the worst of humanity.
Yes, he does.
I do, absolutely. Twix is my favorite. I can find anybody that, if you follow me on X or Twitter, whatever the fuck it is, do not judge me by the terrible people that I follow on there. It's for research
Use
and
context.
entertainment purposes only.
Yes.
I am not a true believer.
It's for laughs.
It's for shits and giggles and entertainment purposes. Just so you know.
But yeah, this stuff does, like, you have your Saturn Death Cult shit popping around everywhere.
I still haven't figured that one entirely out.
I have books sitting around. I'll get to it at some point. But yeah, from that point on, like, Saturnalia kind of survives into the Christianization of civilization, and it takes on a different sort of form as what are normally known as the observation or celebration of holy feast days. And this is where you get things like Carnival and Mardi Gras, which is essentially a Catholic
but all very pagan.
Which were stolen from the pagans.
Oh, very much so, yeah. So that survival of influence and technique of, I don't know, ritual or worship or participation in the parties and whatnot sort of lives on. And then about the time of the Renaissance, you have this author. He's a former Benedictine and Franciscan monk. Didn't know you could double dip like that. But he was also a physician. And once he sort of learned science, he went on his own. His name was Francois, and I may butcher this because it's French. Francois Rabelais, I believe is how you say it. But he wrote a book. He wrote a book called, or a series of books called Gargantua and Pantagruel. Mm-hmm. Now, these are about, like, giants, basically, but essentially the way he wrote the stories are kind of like, they're essentially like the equivalent of American tall tales. Like, this is why this lake exists, because Paul Bunyan stomped a big fucking hole in the ground. But Gargantua and Pantagruel are like a couple of giants that are like tangentially related to Arthurian legend. But this is where you first hear the phrase, anywhere, do what thou wilt. Once again proving that, I don't know if I've said it before, but Crowley probably didn't have an original idea.
Can I say it in its native tongue?
Oh, yeah.
Face que voudrais.
Please let us know in the comments if we said it right.
Thank you
for
someone.
Write that shit.
Spencer, I love that you actually have notes on this shit. I got a blank piece of paper that says OJ Cancer, Ric Flair on it.
That's about right.
You just write something down when you're half asleep, wake up the next morning, like, what the fuck did this mean? So yeah, these are sort of like tangential to, like I said, to Arthurian legend, but once again in the form of tall tales. There's one particular one that stuck in my mind where the character of Gargantua the giant goes to what used to be called, it's basically Paris, but had a different name way back in the day.
Patty.
Actually, the story goes that the giant came into town that used to be called something else besides Paris, and people were like, fuck you, giant, get out of here. We don't want your kind here. And he goes to the top of Notre Dame Cathedral, and he says something to the effect of like, well, these people won't leave me alone. I guess I should like do a joke or something silly to sort of win them over. And apparently the words Paris, P-A-R-R-I-S, translates to like for fun or for a joke.
Nice.
So he whips it out and pisses all over the people and floods the town with piss because he's a giant.
Oh.
This is the kind of stories.
Was that his wake-up pee or something?
Probably. He had to stand really far back
Oh, that's the worst one.
from the crowd.
Is it the worst or is it the best?
So that's the kind of stories.
Depends on which
this
side of the
dude-
stick you're on, you know what I mean?
That's the kind of stories this dude was telling. But there were, little tidbits of philosophy in there, here and there, that were very associated with ideas of, being a libertine, and him being a physician and outside of the church also sort of directed his, I guess, worldview on things. And that's where this book, actually, or series of books, there's like 5 of them, I think, but they were huge influences on the later founders of the Hellfire Club, or clubs proper. I say clubs because you have your main one in England. At the same time, there's an Irish one. I believe we may get into that later.
Yeah, it doesn't really count.
I think they're separate entities.
Now, did they have the sweet cuts like biker clubs? Fucking with did they rep their cities and shit?
I think they just ate haggis. And,
Haggis, huh?
Bunch of sheep shaggers.
yep.
I can say that they also incorporated various ancient, like Greek and Roman gods, like specifically Priapus
And
I don't know if
Bacchus.
you guys- yeah, Bacchus, Venus. Bacchus, the god of wine. Venus, the goddess of fucking, basically. Priapus, god of big boners. So,
Ooh.
yeah, there's a god of that.
Preopsy,
Nice.
that's what it's called when your boner won't quit and you have to go to the hospital.
Oh.
Yeah, named after that guy.
Really?
Yep.
Everything.
Like when you take Viagra and it won't go down and it starts like veins start popping and you got to go to the.
I had a doctor tell me some horror stories.
Priopsy.
I took Viagra once.
Named
I
after
just
that
felt like
guy.
I was having a fucking heart attack.
Me too. Totally made me not want to.
Yeah,
It didn't
did
work.
not want to engage.
It didn't work at all for me.
But yeah, these new philosophies and ideas of sort of, libertine thoughts and libertarianism, really the seeds of it. A lot of it sort of coalesced, and you have basically, to put it all in context, the way that the world was at the time is that Christianity is kind of like losing its luster for a lot of people. There's an expanding Islamic empire that Turkey is like claiming through the Mediterranean and Europe. Yeah, some things never change.
And also within the English society, there's a lot of hypocrisy coming out at this point.
Yeah.
They called it the kind of, I want to say they called it the Enlightenment.
Yeah,
It's
it
when
is,
people
yeah.
were like, "Oh, these church guys are full of shit."
Tell me again
Renaissance
what year?
into
What year are we in
enlightenment.
here? What year are we in?
This is like the
1700, early 1700s.
Even before that.
I only know 1776. That's the one.
What was it? Yeah, those Rebel books came out in like the 16th century, I believe.
He wrote the history of Gargantua. Yeah.
Yeah, Gargantua and Pantagruel. Yeah,
Your notes match mine.
Some of these guys were, it was, Christianity losing its luster, all the hypocrisy. It was also the sort of, I guess you would call it, interference by the church into politics that people were like, why don't you mind your own fucking business? Because they're based, I think at this time, out of Germany. Around this time, I believe. I could be wrong on that. I'm not a history major.
It's always the fucking Germans.
Love to tell other people what to do.
Always comes right back around.
Because they're so efficient. That's why. So yeah, they were telling other kings and monarchs and various other politicos, this is how you should run.
Oh, they were running the show, especially in the UK.
Oh yeah. Big in the UK.
Well, they all swapped family members for brides so that the royal families of England, fucking Germany.
Oh, yeah.
Well, it wasn't even Germany then. Germany didn't even happen until fucking Civil War.
And the papists were the richest people in the country while the commoners were starving, and this hypocrisy was starting to make people be like, why are we listening to these
treasure
clowns?
and people were starving and like, man, fuck, it's just like Jesus would do. Basically, it was these ideas combined things like rationalist philosophy. You have a lot of the early people, like, I may be off on some of the dates around this time because I find most philosophy extremely boring.
Fucking boring.
Yeah.
Fucking boring.
Guys like Descartes, which I thought was a free
A la carte?
dessert. Yeah, that's what I thought of.
No, I thought that was the mashed potatoes on the side.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, when you get an extra portion, it's all extra.
Yeah.
Got a tater tot in my french fry. Yeah, there's a lot of that. It was basically just, there was a building contempt and need for social revolt against what I would call holy roller high horse shit. So basically everything I'd said leading up to this point leads us to Sir Francis Dashwood himself, and for that we're going to hand it off to Spitzer.
Francis Dashwood, 1708 to 1781.
Thank you.
The 11th Baron Le Despenser.
Like you.
Yeah, like fucking.
Yeah,
It's all about you.
One of the original Rakells. Rakel is a term coined in 1653. It's basically just like a troll. For you Zoomers, it's a fucking troll. Okay, like your Facebook bullies and whatnot.
A lot of trolling going on in this story.
Hey, English politician, the Right Honorable Chancellor of the Exchequer. You'll have to. Exchequer, spicy.
But they're English. Why the fuck have they got the goddamn...
Well, there's an Italian influence.
They were all fucking each other back then.
Yeah.
Very
Well,
incestuous back
It's
then.
kind of like Hitler, too.
From country to
Europe's
country.
smaller than Texas, okay? So, like...
He was senior minister of the Crown within the Parliament of the UK, head of His Majesty's Treasury in the British Cabinet, second Postmaster General at 1765 to 1781.
So he
Cliff
licked
Clavin.
stamps?
This guy lived to be 69 years old.
Ha!
From my math.
Tight.
Yeah. Badass. He was also master of the Great
time.
Wardrobe for 2 years, 1763 to 1765. So I guess he, dressed all the pantaloons and the neck ruffles and the highfalutin.
We got to bring that back.
Ye
We got to bring that back. Can we?
Well,
Can we bring back the 1700s?
I like
fashion?
goods and frills. I don't know about you guys, but it hides my double chin.
It's like that goddamn lizard from fucking Jurassic Park.
Let me just refer you all to an episode of Seinfeld called The Puffy Shirt.
The puffy shirt. Yeah, okay.
Bring it back.
In all accounts, he was a bad husband to his poor wife.
What?
Yeah, in a letter to his friend, he wrote, "I'm employing 20 out of the 24 hours upon my belly, or from thence like a public reservoir, administering to those of other people by laying cock in every private family that has a place to receive it." So basically,
What does that even mean? The whole private family?
This guy was spilling a lot of seed, if you know what I mean.
The dumplings! Oh, no!
Or in modern parlance, this motherfucker fucks, okay?
He fucks, he slaps, all that shit. In 1726, Francis Dashwood took his first grand tour, which is basically, it's like summer camp for rich fucks in the 1700s.
Rumspringa.
Rumspringa. Yeah, for all you Amish out there. You basically, in 1733, and this is when he is only at the ripe old age of 21, he arrives in Russia. He spends some time in Russia, Denmark, and Sweden.
Nice.
Yeah, that's a nice bingo card for 1733. You know?
Hey, he's getting it.
Look at all the poverty.
Yeah. He spent time in Italy. Italy. His time in Italy was really formative for his.
This guy was slinging dick the whole time across Europe.
Slinging dick all over Europe.
Almost comparative to you,
and part
Spencer.
of the Ashes.
He could almost live up to you, Spencer.
Nobody's perfect.
Hey, he slang dick in fucking Europe. You slang dick in America. America's way larger.
And America's
centering around Garland,
times
Texas.
Yeah.
Mostly around Garland and the outlying areas. That was me. Dashwood, from an early age, was appalled by the corruption and hypocrisy within the High English Church. In Italy, in 1739, while he was on his tour, he had a very religious tour guide with him that was supposed to keep him safe, hired by his family to make sure he doesn't do anything debaucherous.
Now religious by the Catholic, he had a Catholic church.
He was a Catholic.
He had a Catholic church escort to guide him through Europe.
Yeah, to keep him pure.
To keep him pure. You know that.
Which, by the way, not the best idea.
Yeah.
If you know what I mean.
The altar boys are different. It's a whole thing.
I don't see the purity.
So he toured through Italy. He would sing. He would make up dirty poems about the Pope.
Don't we all?
Yeah. It's like Pope.
Is a bear Catholic?
Pope. What a schmope.
Got arrested on the wire for being a mope.
Oh, I should have said what.
God damn! Why isn't the Pope more important these days than when now?
We have a cool Pope.
God, because we could all just be making fun of the Pope instead of I don't know.
That's another thing about these guys who wear the sort of satanic demon guys or whatever. I think it gives them a sort of galvanize the hatred of the masses, say hello to the bad guy kind of thing.
Yeah, if you can't take me at my best, you don't deserve me at my satanic worst. I think is how it goes. In Italy, he had a formative moment. He saw all these. He went to a big church there, and Holy Roman Church, I believe it was in Rome, and he saw all these.
Checks out.
Yeah, it sounds about right.
Is that right? Okay.
Yeah, it sounds about right.
So he sees all these people that are just destitute, poor, penniless, dickless for all accounts, praying at the altar of a.
You gotta work all day. How you gonna fuck?
Yeah, and so he sees all these people and he has this idea, and he's always been kind of a trickster guy. And by this point, he's already basically had it with the church. He comes into this church at night when all these poor people are praying, and he basically puts on this big white robe. And he has a horsewhip hidden underneath his gowns.
Yeah, it's a horsewhip.
So when they come in, so basically what happens? He comes in and he starts screaming, "Do you want penitence? Do you want truth? Well, you got it." And he started whipping these poor people.
We're practically giving it away.
And these poor people didn't know.
Goddamn, why can't I go out and do this shit?
These poor Italians were like, "Hey, el diavolo. Wait, I'm not talking about the spicy pasta sauce. I'm talking about the devil. That's what the word for devil over there. Anyways, at this point, he does this horrible deed, and he doesn't think anything of it. He goes home that night. It's like a science experiment for this guy. He goes home.
So you gave up owner or not?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
is there some BDSM angle to this?
That fool fucking went home and fucking
We'll get to that later. There's definitely
so
a BDSM.
hard.
Yeah.
He came real hard that
Oh
night.
yeah, I'd hate to see those white robes he was wearing.
Yeah.
Oh.
There's a hole in the roof. What happened there?
Hey, they didn't have gain or tide or anything back then.
No, they just wore it.
No, they just had...
These people are filthy.
They
man.
just had a river that people went upstream to shit in, and then did their laundry down.
You let it dry out and you shake the crust off,
You flake it off. It's like dry cleaning, basically. Yeah.
Is that dry cleaning? Is that 1700s dry cleaning?
No ticky.
No ticky. Never mind.
Let's not go all the way.
We won't go there. Okay.
So to wrap this up, he goes home that night expecting, trying to see if God would strike him down for this immoral act he committed within the confines of the church. Nothing happened. No, what happened was that he saw, he heard some howling outside his window. He looked outside the window, and what did he see? 4 green eyes. He thought it was some kind of 4-eyed, mercenary from heaven sitting there. Turns out it was just a couple of cats. So he saw it was just a couple of cats, and he was like, okay, this galvanized in his mind that the whole idea of religion is horseshit.
It was sort of like an omen to him.
Yeah, it was an omen of sorts, but it wasn't.
It took him till 21. God. I saw that at like 12.
Yeah, right? Well, it's like a reverse learning curve over there.
Yeah.
They didn't all grow up on farms.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was at this point he decided this notion in his mind which basically led to him founding his Hellfire Club. It was this particular incident in Italy that really turned it all around for him, and
because he just wanted to have a good fucking time, and he realized
he wanted to have a good time.
All the shit that was repressing him at the time,
total bullshit,
was total fucking bullshit.
Man, I'm like so repressed, you guys.
Yeah,
like, could you imagine that?
All this money and nothing to do.
Yeah,
it's really putting a.
Could you imagine that waking up moment?
And then you're like, realize, you know what? I got Catholic Church money, bro. I can fucking swing my dick around. I can fucking do
no regrets.
All the dumbest shit that I want to do because you know what? Fuck it.
Yeah,
no regrets, no apologies. Tattooed on your head, baby.
Exactly.
Live it.
Exactly.
Live it.
Should I get a new face tattoo?
Right across the ass.
Should I get a new face tattoo? Should I get that?
You're a bitch if you don't.
Oh, God damn it.
God damn it. Tattoo. So you can't blend into society.
I don't blend into society.
I've heard rappers, specifically Busta Rhymes, throw around phrases like Arab money, but I think they should bring back Catholic Church money. That would be a...
That would be nice.
That would be good for the times, yeah.
Yeah, especially today. People won't misinterpret that
especially
anyway.
with all the improprieties within the Catholic Church.
They got the power. They ain't got that much. They don't... Their fucking nuts don't swing like they used to, all right? The nuts swing, but not like they used to, Yeah.
Tangential
swing
aside.
against the bare taints of Catholic choir boys.
Get used to those jokes, people.
Spencer, I almost spit out my bourbon.
It's just the truth.
I will never
by the thousands.
My bourbon.
It's a systematic problem.
It's almost like the whole church was developed for that sole purpose.
Can we go downtown to the Catholic Church and record? I don't know. Can we do that?
Sanctuary.
We could have a black mass in the styling of the Hellfire Club.
Maybe we should do that. Maybe we should just go fucking...
I'll dunk your head into the pool.
Let's do some goddamn...
I think for a specific, like, literal black mass, you have to have a woman who is willing to let you eat a Jesus wafer out of her vagina.
Look, all these people just make shit up. We can make up whatever fucking ritual we want and go fucking do it wherever we want.
We can do it in Pig Latin.
No, we'll do it in American, because I speak fucking American, alright? So, that's what I will do it in. We will go in American, and we'll fucking drip these nizzies on the fucking, on the shiznit, okay? Like, that's what we're gonna fucking do. Right?
Sign me up. Couldn't be any worse than anything else that goes on within those walls.
Maybe. I don't know.
Shitting purity, bro.
I don't know. We'll see. But, hey, we could. Should we?
I'm writing it in my
Maybe
notes.
so.
Quick tangential aside, I just saw a recent episode of Ancient Aliens, and apparently there are several Vatican astronomers who wholeheartedly believe that Jesus will return as an alien. I just want to throw that out there because of all the disclosure bullshit going on, but...
Well, I mean, it's... Oh, well, yeah.
I know
I'd
it's
buy it at
a
this
bit off
point.
topic, but...
Maybe that's the jellyfish.
You know what? David motherfucking Koresh is coming back as a goddamn alien, okay? I'm from Texas, and the only Jesus Messiah I know is David Koresh, so...
They tried to burn him down.
Waco's
didn't work.
acronym stands for We Ain't Coming Out.
Oh, and also, fuck the ATF, fuck the FBI. Come get me, motherfucker.
They set those children on fire on purpose.
FCC, I dare you.
Oh,
No,
yeah.
we're not regulated.
Yeah. Anyway, Dashwood.
So
yeah. And that's the
what
British
are you gonna
Hellfire
do?
Club.
You're in your 20s. Your fucking dad dies and leaves you a big mansion, an estate, a
I
manor.
hate it when that happens.
Yeah, I mean, it's a poor guy. Yeah, he lost his asshole father. Got left
Yeah, there
with
was
a vast fortune and high political ranking.
There's a bit of an affliction that struck people in those circles called being bored and not giving a shit. And also, just never having to deal with any real problems in your life. So, you have a bit of a detachment from how things really work in the world.
It's like Clinton and Gates at the Epstein Island. It's like, what do you give the guy that has everything? It seems like apparently it's enemas from little boys and girls.
I thought it was midgets doing calculus on a fucking board that's
That was
too
Stephen
tall.
That was
Oh, that was Hawking. That was
Supposedly,
Stephen Hawking.
allegedly.
Allegedly.
Like that, I thought about this all day.
Ah.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, he couldn't get a boner. I don't know.
Well, he would just
Yeah, I didn't think
he
he
would
would.
get pleasure out of seeing him falter over the math.
Yeah. Well,
You're so
You
stupid.
stupid midgets. You little dumbass midgets.
you stupid fox.
Midgeting around.
Yeah, all this was a revolt against the proper Christian morals. I mean, that was the predominant worldview going on at the time.
Yeah.
Small world.
Small world.
Getting smaller every day.
You got that right.
All right.
So yeah,
Where are we at?
as a form of revolt against the Catholic Church and the Church in
Revolt?
general, yes, who basically controlled morality and issued it down at the time. You only have two real options to fight against this. That's violent revolt, which, hey, whatever. Or you have satire and social strikeout, basically, and that's the route they went. So, yeah.
The Dashwood's Hellfire Club originally started in a pub there in Middlesex.
Too easy.
Too easy.
Yeah.
That's called a callback. but you guys wouldn't know.
Callback king over here. So, it got popular, it was subversive, it was less violent than some of the other Hellfire clubs, but it was...
Do you know about the violence in the other Hellfire
Wait,
clubs?
there was...
I know about the Mohawks. That would just, tip over carriages and...
These are the dudes that
knock
dressed
out
up like
ladies.
Indians and went rampaging.
So
in the
now, were
street.
they all just rich boys, or was there some
I
middle?
think
The Hellfire Club was, but the
Mohawks were poor, fucking
Interesting.
East
Yeah.
Ender influence.
pocket pickers. Yeah.
Okay, so
bunch of orphans and shit.
Okay, no, they're basically it's like how the motorcycle clubs have their what do you call it? Their support
Consigliaries?
clubs.
Yeah,
So the fucking goddamn
pledges or whatever. stuff
yeah.
like that.
Well, no. They have support clubs. They're just fucking goons.
Yeah, these guys were definite goons.
Hiya,
that's for sure.
goons.
Yeah.
Not the modern.
Not
goon.
the modern goon that just jacks off all day, but the old goon where it's just you're just like
You
fucking,
hit people over the head with a blackjack and take their money.
that,
Which is a much cooler form of
That
goon.
goon. Okay.
Said things like, "Hey, what do we do with this guy, boss?"
Yeah. That goon.
Yeah,
That's the goon.
there was
Yeah.
one guy that
The-
always wore 3D glasses for some reason.
Yeah. There was a 3D.
He's always in the back of the group.
Or the little dogs, on the Looney Tunes. There was the big dog.
yeah.
What are we gonna do today, boss? What are we gonna do today?
Yeah, the Mohawks were like their, I guess it was experiment as well, I guess, in a way. They were like, go out there and just fucking cause chaos.
There's another
because-
rebellion against, just shitty situation. What else are we gonna do?
But that makes sense because they were they were kind of the upper class, and then they had their literal goons.
But
Yeah.
The goons fucking like, hey, let's just stir some shit up. They just wanted to stir some shit up, and that's I can respect that.
Know that feeling.
I mean, they're rich guys, which hey, I ain't a rich guy, but hey, if I was, you better believe that's what I'm fucking doing. I'm fucking causing problems. I'm fucking I'm just.
I got a list of crackheads I can pay in like
Ex-
7-Eleven food.
Hey, I'm a
mix some
poor.
shit up.
I'm a poor guy, and I got a list of crackheads I can fucking send to do some dumb shit.
We may call on them for the show later. Who
Hey,
knows?
later.
We need our own whack pack at some point.
So, Franny D. Wood, he,
Noah wants to have an orgy with Frank Dashwood.
Old Frank. Yeah.
old Franny D. Wood, yeah, he started gathering with some of his other wealthy, much-to-do young men. They gathered in a pub in Middlesex, and they, it was gaining popularity, and they were, it was more of a social club, like a drinking club, fairly innocent,
Very fraternal,
especially by fraternal,
yeah.
definitely.
So if we added some ritual to what we are doing right now, we'd be doing the same thing.
Thank you, sir. May I have another?
Yeah.
yeah, fraternal initiation. Right?
Yeah, because we're just
Hazing.
we're just some.
yeah.
I mean, technically, we've done all
The
this.
1,000-foot fall, the spanking machine. We've seen it 1,000 times.
Yeah.
The wreck of the Hesperus was a lot like the other thing you maybe do. What was it called? The paddling of the swollen ass with paddles?
Yeah. I mean, we've done all this. I mean, that's the thing. It's a tale as old as time. Dudes being dudes.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, if you look at the anthropological records, even Fred Flintstone went to the Water Buffaloes Club.
Oh yeah, they had the water. But everybody has a fucking thing. Like bros want to bro the fuck out. Like,
Yeah.
That's all it is. This is bros broing the fuck out, and they just happen to have a lot of money, and still even. Epstein had a lot of money, like they're just broing out.
But the same desires that are within all of us. Am I right, guys?
Hey,
Am I
but
right?
busting nuts and fucking
Bustin' makes me feel good.
yeah, busting nuts. All right, ghost busting.
Hey, it's like,
Definitely lots of ectoplasm.
Yeah.
Eh?
right, ectoplasm.
All right, we can agree that ejaculation was pretty much the goal.
I think it's like
I think that's the goal of every man,
Pretty much.
all the time.
To
Yeah.
spread seed if you look at it from the biological nature.
Eh,
But at the same time,
no.
you got the endorphin rush, so it's like drugs built into your body to a lesser extent, I guess.
But also, it's just dumb old man hormones, Fucking, I like to do dumb shit.
Or dumb young man.
Dumb young man.
Young, dumb, and full of ectoplasm. am I
Yeah,
right?
for real. That's what we do.
So,
Who you gonna call?
this Hellfire Club, it wasn't really titled yet when it was meeting in this abbey in Middlesex, or this pub in Middlesex. Then a book came out called Crystal, and it was basically slandering their organization. But it had the reverse effect. What it did was it made people start coming in droves.
Like the parental advisory sticker.
Yeah, it makes you want to buy the album to get the
Yeah,
dirty
you
words.
want to know what the fucking what's all the stink about? I'm down. Like,
I like stink.
It's-
I want to smell that stink.
yeah, it's the hey, what's all this shit about? Let me get. I like.
It's
I
like
want.
when you find out you can read dirty words in the dictionary.
Yeah,
You're
yeah.
flipping the pages.
Yeah, you want the thing that is unobtainable, the thing, the forbidden fruit.
Yeah.
That forbidden fruit is what humanity has desired since, if you actually believe that bullshit, since the goddamn Garden of Eden. And the forbidden fruit is what we shall desire. And you know what?
No matter what that damn snake says.
And we'll bust a nut on that snake.
Hey, man, in some stories, the snake is the good guy.
You know, the word for snake in German is schlong.
I think you're mispronouncing it slightly, but I believe it's schlange.
So wait. So if you give a snake a facial,
If you give a mouse a cookie,
Yeah, it's like putting the toothpaste back in the tube. That way, it's like,
that's like a goddamn quantum dynamics mathematic problem right there.
yeah.
God, did we just create a new genre?
Schlong rock.
All right, Spencer, bring it back.
All right, let me bring it back here. So, anyways, this club got too popular to be held in this pub anymore. So he took all of his rich friends. They didn't want the riffraff getting in the club. He wanted to keep it exclusive.
All right.
You couldn't have women in pubs back in the day.
So,
And,
Yeah, that wasn't even a worry in their mind at that
did
time.
we have any other famous gentlemen in this time?
Oh, yes, there's one
Oh,
I
yeah.
specifically wanted to mention. The Earl of Sandwich and his brother, the
No
Duke
shit?
of Dijonais. Yes.
Yeah.
The Sandwich Master.
Yeah, fucking Earl of Sandwich was like one of the main dudes.
What do you
Ham
think?
hamburger.
What was his original sandwich?
I think it was just a bunch. He
That-
just found shit and stuck it between bread.
Ham.
I think it was a mental problem,
Ham.
really, that he had.
Ham. I'm guessing ham.
Yeah. White
Ham.
people like ham.
It's ham.
Some kind of pork product for sure.
Yeah, you got to put the ham on
There's
there.
a whole lot of porking going on.
So he decided to move it to his personal estate in West Wycombe.
Why come?
Why not?
Yeah, win in Rome. So, and there was a derelict abbey about 6 miles away from his house. Which
I met
was
that
like,
girl.
Yeah, like 14 kilometers. Yeah. We
I
bought
know that girl
derelict
still.
Abbey. Yeah, still have scars to prove it. He had this abbey that was nearby his mansion, so that's where he designed his what he called the Caves of Medmenham, and he basically he hired hundreds and hundreds of people, workers, serfs, to dig these caves underground, these chambers, which were like sex chambers. Basically, and you know, they had everything was like had an erotic kind of overtone, like the shapes of the tunnels. You know, it was like
The engineering and
canals
architecture.
and,
So he had an H.H. Holmes, but
Fucking.
for sex.
Yeah.
yeah, but it was for
Instead of
fucking
a
and drinking.
murder mention, he had a fuck tunnel.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Tight.
Or the British and Irish group did something similar, but there's a story about how Dashwood invites over an English vicar, and he's like, "Oh, look at the rose bushes," and he's like, "Yeah, you think that's cool? Come up to the roof and check it out." And he's got all these fountains and shit, and everything's shaped like a vagina that like squirts like a fountain.
Yeah,
And just,
phallic
But
symbols.
were there actual ladies there, or are they all just jerking off?
That's soon to come.
Yeah,
Literally and figuratively.
they actually.
Although most of the women probably didn't come.
No, they did not.
The female orgasm, right up there with the Loch Ness monster it is.
Clitoris.
Never heard of it.
Never heard of it.
So he built all these grand chambers. You know, there was phallic symbols, statues of Venus, and this is where the friars of Medmenham would be meeting for the next.
That was like one of their little side names. Or
what they
whatever,
called
like
themselves, yeah.
Friars.
They sound dirty.
Also the Hellfire Club, but the members were the friars of Medmenham. You know, and there was initiation rites in order to get
Colonel
in.
Sanders was a member.
They would.
No shit.
No,
Are you making
I was
this
just
up?
thinking of fried chicken.
Okay, are you just lying? You're just lying.
Ben Franklin.
Yes, that is someone we didn't mention
It's
last time.
not 100% sure, but he was definitely there. It's not sure if
Oh,
he's
yeah,
a
he
member or
went to
not.
some parties.
Yeah.
He
Hey.
was on the island.
He partook.
B.
in,
Frank got his wick dipped all over
Oh, most definitely.
in the important variety of the world. He dipped it in.
Yeah,
You know, like
and
he
the
did
whole
it.
the whole stories about him being associated with the
Yeah.
Hellfire Club. I think it gives some interesting recontextualization of the whole Christian founding fathers.
We
idea.
got to do a thing on Benjamin Franklin.
Yeah. Well, I'll get into it, but this part of this Hellfire Club is the whole, like, kind of like what led to the Boston Tea Party because of Franklin's involvement with the goddamn. I got a chart at home with all the
red string and everything.
red string, push pins,
All over the fucking
yeah,
place.
post-it notes. But basically, yeah, we'll get to that. So,
Nice.
That kind of plays into like the stories of Washington D.C. being laid out in a pentagram
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
and just weird stories like
Yeah.
that about how we're venturing into Q territory, but let's save that for later, I guess.
Don't get me started.
So in these, in order to get into the club, you basically had to be a cauliflower nose, rich, drunk prick. You know, basically that was one of the main...
dick measurement fucking parameters.
No. They were all short, anyways.
Yeah.
People were much shorter back then.
Yeah. So initiation rites, Dashwood would lead these. And they were like a parody of the Catholic Mass, which may be where some people got the idea that they were devil worshippers.
Yeah, the whole idea of the Black Mass is fictional.
Definitely some nefarious deeds went down, but no one's trying to raise the Antichrist here.
Although that didn't stop stories and shit like that coming up. They had a circle table with one chair they always kept empty. Because the devil was like an unofficial... He was the unofficial leader of the group.
The Black Lord, yeah. But it was like a tongue-in-cheek, kind of in-jest kind of thing. You know, fraternal ceremonies with lots of booze.
Hellfire Punch, they called it.
Hellfire Punch, yeah, definitely. They would...
Not as good as Hawaiian.
Whenever someone would try to join, they during this initiation rite, they would bend the pledge backwards. Over like a basin of water. No, none of that. No buggering yet.
Not yet.
That was for after the ceremony.
There was buggering. Don't.
Dashwood would elicit this speech in reverse Latin, and he would pour pig blood over the initiate's head, allegedly.
Sounds like a black metal show.
Yeah. And then after all this, after the initiate was thoroughly humiliated, they would give him a young girl and throw him in the private room.
Again,
here you go. Now that you've been thoroughly emasculated, go fuck this girl.
Yeah, it's like after you have to eat your fraternity, you have to eat marshmallows out of your own ass.
That's when the modern conspiracy pulls in, because that is the whole thing. Is like they get the person to have sex with a young girl, and that is automatically you're in the club because we all got fucking dirt on you because you're a gross ass motherfucker.
Exactly.
So
like maybe that's what Epstein Island was.
That is 100% what it was.
Yeah.
And like that is where everything is based upon. Is the whole fraternity is. We have dirt on you because
it's checks and balances.
Keeping. Like we all got dirt on each other. We all buggered that little boy together. So you know what? If you fall,
There's fall. There's blood on your dick as well as mine.
Exactly. Yeah. So that is and that is
that was
where
dark. Thank
that. Yeah. It was very dark. But
it took a minute to realize.
Hey, all of this is dark, or it's completely hilarious.
Yeah.
It's that's where. All of this is... That's why I love all of this conspiracy related to the old school and the new school, is because entirely it's really just kind of fucking hilarious.
Nothing changes.
Yeah.
Nothing changes.
It's more insight into the psyche of the people who come up with these stories, I think.
Yeah, because...
Than the actual shit that's going on.
You think... but yeah, like we all think, these fucking super elite people... do all this super disgusting dirt together and they hold it over each other's head, but in reality, they probably do disgusting dirt together, but you know what, they just, it's just their thing. But all we can do is imagine what they're doing to like hold it over us. But really, they're holding it over each other, but really, a lot of it maybe did or didn't happen.
And then they develop a taste for these acts.
Yeah, and then you gotta chase the dragon.
Yeah,
exactly.
And the next thing you know, you're mainlining motherfucking adrenochrome.
Jizzlane.
Fuck God. And then you
got dough up your ass.
You got jizzlane on your fucking goddamn speed dial, and you're hitting her up. But
hey, Jizz, how you doing?
But
what's up, lady?
The funny thing is, most of it probably never happened.
There'd have to be at least...
Don't get me wrong. A lot of the people are disgusting.
Yeah.
They have fucked people that are fucking shouldn't be fucked. And,
it's a multi-century game of telephone.
It is. Yeah. That's the thing. We're talking... Dishwasher. Literally, all this has been going on for 300 fucking years plus.
Yeah.
Plus.
That's what we have record of.
Yeah, what we have record of.
Well, yeah, and then, you look at things like...
and by record, I mean my little spiral book.
Yeah. Motherfuckers are gross, okay?
Yeah. No, the But see, this is also like I was saying. You have two options when you sort of want to fight the power. Violent revolution, such as the French Revolution, where a lot of these same kind of stories were going on, and everything came down to Saint Guillotine, and it was like, fucking, yeah, that guy's a rich dickhead, chop it off. Fucking, so, at the same time, it almost seems like a safe, benign, like, I'm kind of a pussy, and I'm stuck in my life, and I kind of like the little comfortable rut.
Yeah, I don't want to go to jail or nothing.
But at the same time, this stuff does, and like, once again, the French Revolution, it does have boiling over points. Were you saying something about America being compared to the Weimar Revolution right now?
You break it down, it's all fucking, it comes down to class.
Or what?
It's class, and yes, I have broken it with modern day and older day. If we just go back 100 years, it's the Weimar Republic. And
this is the
this is just the current conspiracy theory. This is what I am.
I'm just reporting the news.
I'm reporting the news here. I'm not saying this is what's happening. But with the Weimar, it was sexual. What could be
experimentation. For some and some depravity.
And some call it degeneracy.
Depends on how cool you are.
It depends on how cool you are, you know, fucking like, you know, fucking, hey, everybody can fucking fuck. I don't give a fuck who fucks fuck. You know, like, that's, how many times can I say fuck into this microphone? But
until a politician says fuck in his speech, we have not moved on.
Everybody fucks fuck, okay? Like but that is just the current, and then that's last 100 years current, is everyone fucks. You know, like, and you know what?
All the way back.
And if you want to go all the way back, people been fucking, okay?
Yeah. How do you think we all got here?
And then, but yes, as far as conspiracy goes, the Weimar Republic is in the right
progression into Nazi Germany. Which makes me think that the people who are saying this kind of shit are like fucking wringing their hands like, I can't wait for
100%.
The next couple of years.
In my following, like,
it's coming.
The people, that's the thing. They're like, the war is coming because the Weimar Republic led to World War II. Because, of course, all of that was brought upon by the Jews. Were the ones responsible for the Weimar Republic.
They're just a convenient scapegoat.
It is a convenient scapegoat throughout history.
Blood libel.
And current times.
Yeah. Even Kanye jumped on the bandwagon.
Kanye's on it. I got it. I'm not going to lie. I bought the Kanye Burzum shirt.
You're listening to Chris's Conspiracy Corner.
Look, I am just reporting the news. And
I do like the shirt. It's funny.
I do like the shirt's fucking great. And
I don't think most people will get the social commentary behind it right away.
Hey,
but
I still listen to Burzum. Burzum is actually going to be my wife's wedding walk.
It's been one hell of a walk.
Oh, no. Hey, you're officiating our wedding, so anyway, this is the same thing. It's throughout time. All this shit. This is nothing new. All this shit with QAnon, and even not even QAnon, all the offshoots. It is old as time. Everyone is like, it's satanic. Oh, it's against the.
It's the same narrative popping up.
It's the same narrative, but you could go back forever.
Yeah,
and like
witch hunts, inquisitions.
Go even further back. Let's go back. If we knew more about Sumerian times, I'm sure there is.
I heard that motherfucker is down with the Anunnaki.
There is some clay tablet somewhere talking about their version of black metal at the time, and how fucking or some celebrity that they knew, the king's fucking concubine. She looked at a chicken a little weird.
She's into
you had conspiracy theorists tinking away on those clay
tablets. Yeah.
Talking shit about it.
They spent a month fucking clicking that goddamn clay tablet.
And someone read it was like, this is bullshit, and just like threw it against the rock and broke it.
It just got broke. That's why we don't know that this is just history repeating itself over and over again.
This is outside our scope. We would have to like crowdsource something like this. But to have a historical record of the conspiratorial thought going on throughout various points in history, so you get an alternate narrative of what's going on, yet at the same time I see a backfiring to that as people like using it as a fucking official source or something like, see, This is going like
butterfly effect, man.
Yeah. No, all these people that, according to all these conspiracy theories, are up to all this illicit fucking and like ritualistic blah blah blah. I mean, wouldn't you think that as shitty as people are at keeping secrets, there would be more convictions and court cases? And if you look at like the Satanic Panic specifically, all that shit has almost been overturned. Anything that was convicted. I mean,
a lot of people did a lot of time.
Let me use two powerful examples from farther back. Yes, did you have something you wanted to add?
Well, the people in power are the people that are perpetrating this shit.
Okay.
So of course it's cronyism at its best.
Yes, there is that. But to take it back a little bit, like in the 20th century, what was his name?
That's the 1900s for our listeners.
Yes, it's one ahead.
It's I hate that.
It's confusing.
I hate that whole thing.
Because an American probably came up with it, and we use freedom units, not the
Yeah,
metric
it definitely sounds empirical.
system. So, for example, most recently, or in more recent history, Bill Clinton, Monica Lewinsky. Fucking everyone found out about it. And Bill Clinton is like one of the most conspiracy-drenched fucking presidents that we've had in a long time.
Well, his wife...
Well, yeah, the whole family.
It's legit. A lot of the shit involved with them is legit. All the stuff with Hillary eating the face off a fucking child and all that. That's all...
That's why she makes holes in her
Debatable.
Goddamn frazzle dripped. Okay? Like,
soul cooking.
Yeah.
Not to be confused with soul food.
No, soul... you're talking about spirit cooking.
Or spirit cooking.
That's Maria Umbravovic. She is... That has...
She's like a conceptual artist or whatever.
She's
right?
Yeah. She's like... Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that any politician who has attended anything with a conceptual artist is like, fuck, I regret this instantly.
All of it frustrates me to the nth degree because I don't. It's like with the super conservative Christians, they just do not understand art. And like it's all satanic. It's all satanic. It's all.
But put a fig leaf on that statue.
Okay, and that's the thing. If you put that on now, imagine that.
Conspiracy Corner.
Why don't you tell us about the Jews today?
Well, don't get me started.